Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and you're in for a tropical treat today, cause this southern gal is putting her own twist on some Caribbean cooking. And lucky for us, this Bahama mama has a good friend that's sharing some of his favorite recipes. I'm gonna start off with some spicy jerk pork chops that have been smothered in a savory mango chutney. And then it's crispy coconut shrimp that are truly out of this world delicious. And let's not worry about fitting into that swimsuit, because I'm going to cool things down with a lime souffle for dessert that's been cooked in a coconut. So we'll put the lime in the coconut and serve it all up. And last but certainly not least, it's a Pina Colada cocktail that's gonna help this party get started. So stick around, y'all, cause today is Sun and Serve, Caribbean style. Today's show, I'm so excited about. I'm thinking outside the box. We're not going to do Southern food today. How about we take a trip to the Caribbean? Just you and me. Today, I'm going to be cooking up coconut shrimp and a lime souffle. And last but not least, a wonderful jerk pork chop with a mango chutney. And that's what we're gonna start with today. And we'll come on over here and we'll start with our chutney first. I'm gonna use like 2.5 cups of diced mango. Oh, it smells good already. I've got some vinegar, brown sugar, ginger, minced up real well, raisins, and a very hot pepper that's going to give us a spice, and that's a Scotch bonnet. And you'll want to be careful because this is hot, so I'm going to stir this in with a spoon. And I've got 1 clove of minced garlic, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of pepper. And we're going to turn this eye on. It'll be ready in no time. The colors in that are beautiful. Okay, let's move on to our pork chops. Now at the restaurant, we cut our own pork chops because we've just found out that it's just so much better. So that's what I've done today. And this one's tied up, and I'm just gonna nip this string and lay him up here. And I'm gonna cut these into chops. And I'm gonna cut mine about 3/4 of an inch. Look at that pretty, solid piece of white meat. Almost no fat on these. And you can cut these as thick or as thin as you like. I guess depending on how you're gonna cook them. I was on Emerald's show the other day with him, and I was cooking pork chops like this thick. And Emerald had some little thin sissy chops. But his were delicious. Now I'm gonna take my pork chops and I'm gonna sprinkle a little garlic powder and house seasoning on them. This pork chop seasoning is my recipe that I've been doing for quite a few years now. And now I'm gonna coat it with the jerk. Now I've got allspice, I've got dried red peppers, paprika, brown sugar, chives, thyme, ginger, cloves, cinnamon, onion salt, nutmeg, and garlic salt. And you know, I don't know why they call this a jerk seasoning. Now you can see I'm putting this on pretty heavy because I can't get food too spicy for Michael. Now you can increase the ingredients and make you up a bottle of this so that you don't have to make it fresh every time. You can just have it in your cabinets. All right, I'm going to give our pan a quick spray so those won't stick. And we're going to put these in a 350-degree oven. Until they're cooked throughout, and that won't take long because there's no bone in this, and it's your bone that usually requires more cooking than just the actual meat. So we're going to just throw this in the oven and let it bake until they're done. All right, let's check on our chutney. The colors are beautiful. It looks like corn almost, doesn't it? It's so yellow. And I'm just standing up here admiring this mango chutney. It truly smells out of this world. So when I come back, when I get through cleaning and y'all come back, we're gonna make coconut shrimp. It's one of my favorites. It's out of this world. And we're gonna taste these jerk chops with this mango chutney. So I'll see y'all back in a minute. All right, let's see how these pork chops look. Ooh, they look delicious. And our chutney is so nice and thick. I love raisins. Oh, that looks so good. The chutney just makes it. And you saw how quickly I got that made. To me, it's so much better than bottled chutney that you buy in the grocery stores. And it only takes a minute. Well, let's move on. I do love these little puppies. And the coconut shrimp. And you'll be amazed at how quickly you can do these at home. And they'll taste every bit as good, if not better, than a restaurant coconut shrimp. Now, I've got some whole shrimp, and I'm just going to peel them. And I have some peeled here. You can just take your shrimp and go down the back of it with a sharp knife, and that'll remove your vein of your shrimp at the same time. It almost butterflies them. So we're going to take our shrimp, dust them in flour, and then we're going to dip them in the egg, and we're going to add our coconut to our breadcrumbs along with a little salt, because these are going to be sweet and savory at the same time. All right, and a little black pepper. We're just going to mix that up. I've got some already done here, and I'm just burying them down in that breadcrumb and coconut. And you can do this earlier in the day. You can do this part and have them on a tray in the refrigerator, just waiting for you to put them in that fryer. All right, I think we can start frying. I like to fry on like 350 to 375. And we're just gonna drop these in our hot grease. And these are not gonna take but just a minute to cook. You don't want to crowd your pan too much, but I'm cooking with a big Dutch oven, so they'll hold quite a few. Now, this is one of those foods that, you know, I really love as an appetizer, but these are so rich that it's almost too much for me to make a whole meal of just coconut shrimp. All right, now while those are frying, they're not going to take but a second, but I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add just regular orange marmalade and some dark rum. And I'm just going to heat those two ingredients up. And by the time I finish taking out our shrimp, our sauce is going to be ready for us. Ooh, look at that beautiful brown shrimp. That toasted coconut. All right, I'm just going to pile these up on our platter. And I'm just going to take these around the room and pass them out. And that way I kind of control how many people eat. Okay. Our dipping sauce is ready. Look how beautiful these look. So let's see what we've got. Look at the steam pouring off of that. I love the marmalade with the sweetness of the coconut. Believe it or not, y'all, it's going to get even sweeter because coming up next, I'm going to make a lime souffle baked in a fresh coconut shell. This is a mighty hard coconut, y'all. Hope I'll be able to do something with it. I've been waiting all day to make this dish, a lime souffle, and we're gonna bake it in a fresh coconut. All right, right here in this pot, I've got 7 tablespoons of melted butter. And to that, I'm gonna add sugar and cornstarch and a little flour. Now, I'm gonna make a regular custard, almost like a banana pudding custard. Now, in this pot, I have 1 cup of milk, and it's warm. This is just before boiling. And I'm gonna add that to it. So I'm gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna come over here because we're gonna temper some egg yolks and add back into our hot custard, and that's gonna make it real, real rich. Now for the custard, we are gonna need 4 egg yolks. And we're gonna need 6 whites. I've got 2 extra eggs. And remember to have your eggs at room temperature. Your whites will beat up beautifully. Okay. And I'm just gonna beat these up a little bit. Now I'm gonna temper this yolk, and temper means to heat slowly, because if you don't do this, if you poured your yolks directly into your custard, there's a good chance that you might come up with scrambled eggs. Oh, that's so pretty and nice and thick. I'm gonna just add this. Into the custard it goes. I'm gonna turn that eye back on, and we're gonna cook this for, about 2 minutes. This is not complicated at all. There's just a couple of things that you need to do every time so that it won't lump on you, like temper your yolks and stirring in your dry ingredients all together first. All right. So now we're gonna turn this off, and we're gonna put it aside and let it cool. All right, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna take our whites. All right, I've beat our egg whites until they're forming soft peaks. Now I'm gonna add a pinch of salt and a little sugar. And I'm gonna keep beating them until they're really in the form of meringue. All right, look how pretty. And I've got some cooled custard. I wanna put in a little lime zest, which is gonna kind of give us a little tropical flavor. It's almost gonna taste like a key lime pie's been baked in the center of that coconut. I'm gonna extract the juice from our lime. Just a tropical feeling it gives me. All right. Just gonna mix those up together. The first time I decided that I was gonna bake a fresh coconut cake, I went out to the garage with my coconut and my hammer. I would hit it and it would just take off and go somewhere else. Well, I did that for about an hour and I finally won the battle. So I kept calling my grandmama and I finally got her. And she said, Paula, you have to put a coconut in a 400-degree oven and bake it, and then you take the hammer and it'll just crack right open. Well, I learned the hard way. But most things that we learn the hard way, we never forget them. All right, let's get back to coconuts. Well, I've got some coconuts that have already been cracked. Now, to bake off our lime soufflés, we're gonna butter the inside of our coconut shells. Real simple. All right, now I'm gonna sprinkle them with sugar because believe it or not, this coconut's not real sweet. Now you've got to get these things to stand up. So to ensure that they stand up, I've made some rings out of just regular tin foil. And we're just gonna put our souffle down into our coconut. I love serving food out of natural containers as often as I can. All right, the last thing I need to do now is take my finger and run them around the edge. And you see how that makes a little indention because that's going to help our souffle rise. All right, these are ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put them in a preheated 375-degree oven, and we're going to let them bake for about 45 minutes until they're a nice light brown. And we're going to put these in and let them do their magic. In the meantime, though, I've got some already ready because 4 is not enough. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? Oh, I just love coconut. All right, now I think I'm gonna just dust it with a little powdered sugar. Yum. And a little toasted coconut. I think I'll just garnish it with a little bit of lime. Oh, doesn't he look pretty? Oh, I don't know where to start. I think I'll start right here. It's so light. I think the only thing holding that to the plate is that heavy shell. All right, I've got to go away for a couple of seconds, but when I come back, we're going to make a Pina Colada. Okay, now we're gonna make a Pina Colada. I really like this drink. It's one of those drinks that almost tastes like a sissy drink, which I can drink as long as I can't taste the liquor in it. But it does have a pretty powerful punch, so you have to be careful. All right, we're gonna start by adding some ice to our blender because we want this drink good and cold, like a coconut milkshake. All right, now this part depends on how strong you want it. Maybe a half a cup of rum. I don't want everybody getting completely snockered, so. All right, now I'm gonna pour in coconut milk and a little pineapple chunks, and then the coconut cream, which is really gonna give it that wonderful flavor. Ooh, that Looks and smells delicious. This is gonna be so good with all of our dishes. Oh, it looks like we're in the Caribbean, doesn't it? Boy, Heidi, I got this one really, really strong. If you find that you can't go to the Caribbean, but the weather's a little nippy, you can bring the Caribbean to you with these wonderful dishes. The jerk pork chops with that mango chutney is out of this world. And the coconut shrimp, I think those may be the best I've ever eaten. And the lime souffle is over the top. And of course, that Piña Colada is not bad either. Until next time, y'all, I wish you best dishes from my Caribbean meal to yours.